thinking about doing this video gives me chill because I know how sensitive the issue, yet I want to take this opportunity using my channel to spread awareness on how important for us to take good care of our mental health.
China has identified the cause of the mysterious new virus,
coronavirus.
The real pandemic is mental health.
Canadians continue to suffer in many ways during this pandemic, including losing jobs. The stories and impact different from person to person.
Molly Thomas goes to the front line and finds that the very people whose job is to take care of us are too often struggling to take care of themselves.
Hello Gracienatics and welcome back to my channel. For today's vlog, my topic is all about mental health awareness. I decided to do this video because I noticed lately that there's a lot more people being affected, especially during pandemic. Some of the reasons are loss of job, peer pressure, bullying, too much debt, too much anxiety, too much responsibility, and a lot more. So with me to help spread awareness about mental health is a good friend of mine, a registered nurse also here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and a member of an end-of-life Doula Association, Sarina. Hello Sarina, thank you for being here with me.
Hi Grace, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so I invited you because I've heard you're really a good advocate of a mental awareness here in Halifax. So I want to know first why you started this advocate for.
Mental health is something that has always touched a really close place in my heart. I've suffered with some mental health issues throughout my life myself. And I've also had lots of friends and family that have encountered issues as well. I can see how many people that mental health issues does affect, and I just really want to destigmatize and get conversations more normalized, and let's talk about things instead of them not being normal.
Yeah, okay. So when did you feel that you wanted to do this end-of-life Doula Association?
So I was working in long-term care for 4 years, and I experienced a bit of moral dilemma with not being able to provide the care that I thought people truly deserved at end of life. As a registered nurse, we have a lot of job expectations which are inevitable and have to be done, but I found that that was taking away from more of the emotional support side of things for what I was able to provide to people. So when I first heard about end-of-life doulas and it being a fairly new profession, I looked more into it. I took my training through Douglas College in February of 2020, and I have recently become a member of the End-of-Life Doula Association of Canada. I'm just really looking forward to having that extra focus on emotional and the mental health side of things with regards to preparation during and after end of life. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to making changes and improving quality of life.
So Sarina, a while ago you mentioned about being in a long-term care and the toxic environment involved. So can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, for sure. So as well as a toxic environment, I've experienced within my last few years of working in that setting a bit of a moral dilemma too. I truly believe that others at end of life deserve more than what we're currently able to provide, given the job limitations and job expectations in our role. So that paired with a toxic work environment that kind of seems to have come to the forefront due to COVID-19. As we know, the healthcare workers and everyone in general, we're all stressed out. It's just really a lot, and when you take someone out of what our normal is, it makes sense that people are going to be more stressed. So we've noticed in the work environment, especially lately within the last year, that people are exhausted, people are experiencing compassion fatigue. We're not even able to be as understanding with our own coworkers as we once were, which is quite unfortunate. I think what it all boils down to is we all need to look inward and pay some more attention to our own mental health and really put that self-care first. Because as we know, we can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah, self-care is really a big thing. So, Sarina, I've heard a lot of, I've read about a lot of comments about being, recognizing the healthcare workers more, and there's some comments that telling that why you have to bow down with the healthcare workers. It's their job. They earn more. They earn really a lot. It's really their job to take good care of other people, especially these COVID times. So what can you say about those things that people think about with as a healthcare provider also?
So being on the front lines, I think what a lot of people don't realize is that we are put in a place oftentimes that we end up losing out on time with our families and our loved ones when other people are able to just carry on with those activities. You know, if we work in an environment that is high risk for COVID-19, then sometimes we're almost forced to isolate ourselves more than others would from our loved ones, and that again takes a toll on our mental health and disrupts the normalcy of our lives.
So the next one is, I believe that part of also the mental health problems are having a peer pressure. Have you ever been a peer pressured in your life? Like even not in the workplace or in just a general life also?
I think that we would be lying if we said that we've never been affected by peer pressure in our lives. I know for me personally, a lot of the peer pressure is what I end up putting on myself. I end up comparing myself to others, and then I feel that need to, you know, be up to standards with, if somebody's here, well, I need to be there too. But I think that we just need to look at ourselves as individuals. We're all living this life, but we're all on different journeys.
Yeah, exactly.
And just because one person has something, it doesn't mean that we should be there too. It just might not be in the plan for us, and just need to look at ourselves instead of comparing outward.
Yeah, I believe, because in my personal experience also, I think lately I've went through with the peer pressure when everybody's expecting me to do something in my career also, and at that point I just want to deal with what I want to do. Yeah, just people are asking me like, why you have to do this, why you have to do that, and it gives me time to, you know, stop from communicating because I'm so overwhelmed with all those pressure that's I need to do in life, especially with my career, and I can see some of the people are going through also with that pressure. So what can we say or what can we advise to them for them not to go through with the same situation that we've been through also before, as a, you know, having a peer pressure, like for everybody else that being pressured by friends, pressured by family on what their career, love life, or whatever they want to do in life. So what can you say about those individual or pieces of advice?
It's easy for others to give us advice and say, oh, you should be doing this, you should have that. But we all have different values as well. And I think it's important that we look inward and we're aware of what our own personal values are. And the actions and things that we do in life, we need to be in line with those values. Because if we're not, even on a subconscious level, it is going to affect our mental health. Even if, you know, you can wake up and put on a smile and get through your day, deep down, if what's going on in your life isn't aligning with those values, it is going to take a toll.
Sarina, in workplace, have you experienced being bullied also, or have you seen people being bullied in your workplace?
As a nursing student, I did experience some bullying from a more senior nurse. But I think it's quite common, specifically in healthcare, that bullying does occur. It's a female-dominated profession, and females can tend to be a little bit opinionated. So I think that that's kind of normal that comes up. But I think it's important that we realize that when people are bullying others, that it's not to try to not let it affect us, because it's not a reflection of us and who we are. It's actually a reflection of them. So really, what we can do is, you know, try to not let that bother us and just realize that the only thing that we have control over is how we react to those situations.
How do you think self-care is important for each individual?
I think what's important and what people consider self-care is different for every person, but it is quite important that we do the things that we need to make us feel at our best.
So can you share about any tips on how you provide self-care to yourself?
For sure. I think a key thing for me is to not keep everything inside of myself, to make sure that I communicate what I'm feeling and what's going on in my mind with my loved ones around me. Because it's easy to feel alone when you're struggling with your mental health if you don't share what you're feeling. So that would be a key thing that I do, as well as I try to make sure that I end up getting enough sleep at night, trying to eat healthy food, getting lots of exercise. And I know that these are common things that everybody says, oh, get lots of sleep, eat well, exercise, that's quite common, but I can't stress enough how important that actually is to improving your overall health, not just specifically your mental health. And in addition to talking about how I'm feeling, it's important for me personally to express what I'm feeling in a creative way. But that's just a thing for me. So whether it be, painting and just getting those emotions out into messy action, or just moving my body however feels right, those are all important things.
Yeah. So for me, the usual things that I do for self-care, of course, the usual thing like you have your warm bath with Epsom salt, with the music. But aside from that, usually I separated myself from other people. Like even my best friends, she knows that if I'm not in a good state of mind, I have to separate myself. I need my quiet time. But it doesn't mean that I'm depressed, but it's just that I'm emotionally or mentally tired. And the next day, I want to wake up 100% again, ready to, because as a healthcare worker, I believe that every day that you go to work, you have to be in 100, even 101%, because you're taking good care of these people who needs you emotionally, not only physically. So there also came a time that I just can't stop being so sad about what's happening, but I have to go to work. But you know the feeling that when you enter the client's room and then you're sad outside the door, but when you enter, you're like, hi, how are you? Oh, it's me again, Gracie. And then when you get out, you know the feeling that, okay, I'm done with my first one. So it's different. So I don't like that kind of feeling. So I think self-care is very important. And it's also key point as a healthcare worker. Like you have to really take good care of yourself. And how about you, Sarina? Is there any more that you can add with the first tips that you've given to me about self-care?
Well, I can really appreciate that you can recognize when you need time to just be alone and to just compose yourself again. And relating to that, setting boundaries is super important.
Yeah.
So knowing what you can handle and when you need to step away and take that time for yourself is very important, to not let things get too out of hand.
Do you think how it is important to have someone to go to when you're feeling not good about yourself already?
Absolutely. I don't think there's any benefit to keeping everything that you're feeling inside and keeping that just to yourself. I do think that there's great power in sharing your emotions with others. With that being said, you do want to find somebody that you're comfortable sharing what you're feeling with. And if you're looking at supporting a friend who's having a difficult time, of course, we don't know what to say. We don't know exactly what they're feeling and exactly what's going through their mind. But just to be of a support, to actively listen, and to validate what they're feeling is super important.
Yeah, because by merely listening, it's also a big help from them. You don't have to say anything, just being there in a situation that they're in low times and just listen. And about the validation, so I think one of the main reason also that people, stop from going to other people is probably they're not being validated. So how do you think it's important for a person to be validated in terms of their feelings already?
Like when you're experiencing mental health issues, it's easy to feel like, oh, I'm going crazy or what's happening to me. But just to have somebody understand and say it's okay that you're feeling this way right now. This isn't going to be the be-all end-all of everything. Like there are better days to come, but just to acknowledge that person where they're at that present time is key.
Yes. So Sarina, can you tell me more about End of Life Doula Association and how people can contact your good office in case they need help?
So the End of Life Doula Association that I'm part of, we have a roster of doulas from all across Canada that can be found on the website, and then people are able to reach out and connect with those people in their area if they require assistance for anything at all. My own personal business is called Enlightened Departures, End of Life Doula Services, based here in Halifax, and I offer things such as preparing advanced care plans, initiating and helping those difficult conversations with loved ones, preparing rituals for while the person is still alive or even afterwards, helping the family to create a legacy project to remember their loved ones, and also grief and bereavement support after a loss.
Okay. So for Sarina's business, I'm gonna put the link down below so that you can know where to contact her. She's also gonna provide the email address so that in case you need help, it's very accessible for you to find where you could contact Sarina. And Sarina, thank you so much for being with me today and for helping me spread awareness to people about mental health. And I hope that I can invite you again to my next topic if ever.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Grace. And as I've mentioned before, I'm very passionate about discussing mental health and bringing awareness around. So I would love to be back sometime for another topic.
Oh, why not? Thank you so much. So Gracienatics, thank you for also taking time to, watch my video, and hopefully you can subscribe, like, and comment down below what can you say about our topics for today. And I hope that you can watch also my next video that I will feature. So thank you so much and see you on my next vlog.